Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Boy-Girl Equality in School programs where has it gone wrong conference. It is with great pleasure that we have gathered here this evening to talk about this topic. And as we embark on a journey of exploration and enlightenment, we recognize the significance of this dialogue in shaping inclusive and equitable educational environment. With that being said, allow me to welcome our speakers tonight. Of course, they will introduce themselves as they would be delivering their speech, but I will just have to mention their names and welcome them. I would love to welcome these three speakers that are already here: Violet, Joe Fixon, and Ella Hamwaka. And also, I would love to welcome all of you to this conference. Feel free, feel at home. And this is for all of us. This is for you especially. And I would like to, so this is how the program is going to be like. We are going to have our speakers who are going to say something, what they have prepared for the day, for the night rather. They will do self-introduction, they will say their personal statements, and then we will also discuss something about measures to be considered on whatever it's going to be said, and the floor is going to be opened to everybody else, and then later we are going to have concluding statements, and then off we go. All right, so without wasting much time, I would love to welcome our first speaker. He goes by the name of Joel Fixon, and he will talk much about himself as he is stepping in. Joel, welcome to the floor. And yeah, right now the floor is yours.
Right,
welcome once again.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Thank you so much. I guess the first thing that I have to do is introduce myself. My name is Joe Fixon Gozo, and I am a software engineer, so to speak. I'm a software engineer, and what I do on a daily. I want to start by saying that I think that's like a very good introduction. I mean, like a very brief one. I don't want to talk so much about my background and stuff like that, but I'm a software engineer. Of course, I'm from Lilongwe, Malawi. I want to start the topic by just addressing the first thing that Mustafa here mentioned. I remember I was born in Kotakota, Luangwa, Kotakota. I remember growing up at the time, things were a little bit different from where they are right now. And when I was growing up, as I said, we didn't have so much division or divide between different genders and stuff like that, especially in the education system. So I did my primary education at Kanyenda FP School up until when I was started six, when we moved to Lilongwe, and I did like Munyakondo LEA and did Charismatic High School, stuff like that. But when I was like growing up, we didn't have this division as much, and it was I can't really say it was nice, because I didn't live in an environment where there was different, like there were differences or divide between like women and girls. I mean, boys and girls at primary education or in education in general. What I do remember is that the only thing that I do remember growing up was they would make us sit right next to a girl, like on a desk. Most of the times, like you have to okay, next to like a girl or something like that. That's what they used to do when we were young, like in primary school. But when I was growing up, I started seeing the division happening, and not only from a gender perspective, but also from like a tribal perspective with the introduction of quota systems and stuff like that. I want to say that I do acknowledge the reasoning behind why they had to introduce some of the things that have been introduced, especially on a policy level, like gender and stuff like that. I feel like the intentions were really good and have been good. But just like any other thing, you do notice that some things they can be out of context and they can go a little bit wrong at some times and become extreme to the extent where the intention that they had initially as being good, they start to become a little bit bad and impacting on the other side. And this is what I feel like has been happening lately. I don't have the data to back it up, but I hear and I see stories where uh, some people are being, especially like right now, a lot of like girls have more opportunities, and it's not just in the in the education sector. I think it's everywhere else. But at the same time, I also do acknowledge that this talk is more about bridging the gap between both genders. I don't have as much, like to pick a side, so to speak. I don't want to say I'm on the side of boys, I'm on the side of girls. I feel like the intentions are good for if the things are being executed really well, especially if we want to empower the girl child. I feel like that's a good thing, but I believe that if we have to empower a particular gender, it has to be in the context whereby we also acknowledge or we look at the place where we are trying to apply that, the environment where we're trying to do that. For example, if you're in a long way, I feel like it's most likely, or like in any major city in the country, it's quite easier to empower the girl child or both genders because at least more people have like different opportunities and have like more, I think I should say like more opportunities to actually go to school and make it happen. But if you're in the villages where both people are struggling to actually make ends meet or like to attend basic resources, then it's if you're trying to pick one side and say, okay, we're going to empower this side, then it's also I feel like it's also like not really good because at the end of the day, then you're only empowering one side. So for me, I feel like it's all about context and the environment. Maybe the example that I've given might be very wrong or like not right. But I feel like when you're trying to empower or like bring opportunities to people, you have to look at it from a perspective whereby you look at the environment and various factors and not just like one factor, let's say in this case, in this scenario, gender. I feel like you have to look at, okay, what are the opportunities that are available for both people? Are they really empowered in a way that if we empower one side, things are going to be okay? Or do we have to, at least balance things up? And I feel like that would be good. In the same vein, like maybe in closing my talk, I would say in my presentation here, I would say that, as I said, I don't have the data to back it up, so maybe I might just be speculating. But I think for the past maybe 10 or 15 years or so, things have been changing, and I feel like opportunities they might be aligning to some extent, and I hope that the things will become like that. So I just don't want to come up to grow up in an environment or like to have an environment where uh, we're trying to solve one thing and then we have gone way too far with that and then the other side has been left behind. I know that this is what has been done for the past maybe 100 years or so where men or boys have been given the opportunities more than girls have. But if we're trying to level things up, I hope that we are also not trying to create, like trying to reverse that in a way that it's only girls that have been, given more opportunities than boys. I know that might be an equalizer to some extent. Like, okay, maybe the next 100 years is going to be more women than men, or more boys than girls, which is okay. But if we are really trying to like equalize things, then maybe we have to get to it in the same vein. Like, okay, maybe now we have reached that point or that part where we can say, yeah, I think now we can start empowering both. But I don't know. As I said, my views are just my views, and I might be biased, but at this point in time, I don't have a side on which on this specific topic. Like, should I empower the boy child or should I empower the girl child? And also, I'm a guy, so I might be biased because I'm a guy. I might not have the views of other women or other girls. So I'm just saying that in a way of trying to empower people, maybe we can look at it from a perspective of not just one particular factor, but multiple factors as well that affect the decision for both. So gender being one of them, opportunities, location, those are like some of the data points that I would look into, or I would consider when making a decision to at least help people to make to equalize things, basically. So I don't have where has it gone wrong, but I feel like, yeah, we know where we are going, and there's a reason why we are here, where we are where we are at this point in time. So yeah, I'll yield with that. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Joe, for that. All right. Right now, I would like to call Violet Kamanga to do her presentation, to say what she has prepared tonight. Violet, it's your turn.
Oh, hello everyone. I'm Violet Kamanga. I'm so sorry. I'm in transit. I'm over, but can the next person come in until I'm settled?
All right. Okay. So who is next in line? Maureen, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
All
so, right. Okay, guide me through. I'm sorry I joined late. I was having problems with my network. So guide me through. What are we saying, really? Which question are we answering? Are we just introducing ourselves? Yeah, guide me through, Chair.
Okay, all right. As I communicated, you are introducing yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, a brief introduction, and then you're coming in with a personal statement on gender program and the fact that boys are being sidelined, or anything that you would like to say on the topic.
Yeah. Okay. Hello, everybody. Good evening. My name is Maureen Victory Kachala. I live in Zomba. Yeah, I teach every day. Yes, I go to work and I teach. I'm a child, women, and youth activist. I work with women, children, and young people every single day. I do empowerment programs, gender empowerment, women empowerment is at my heart, and I'm at the peak of doing everything I can. I'm a young, aspiring politician. Yes. Also a student, a master's student in women's rights, children's rights, and environmental governance at the School of Law. University of Nairobi and Chancellor College. Yes, University of Malawi. Okay, so on this topic, I was hearing the previous speaker saying, okay, so well, really I can't play sides and stuff like that. For me, I would say issues of gender equality seems like a women's thing for people, for men. I'll call it for men or for boys because of pride and toxic masculinity. Yes, quote me anywhere, like toxic masculinity. It's because of how society has raised us. Society has raised boys and girls to believe that men or boys are more superior, Men can't cry. Men, you should be at the topmost. You are the providers. You are the breadwinners. Women, you need to sit down, listen to your husband, listen to your brothers and your fathers, which culturally was okay, maybe because it maintained order in the society. So who is at the top, who comes after, it maintained, but then it became toxic because the more women were being sidelined, the more women were being taken as the second-class citizens, the more the boys hovered above and the more men hovered above, and there were no equal opportunities. We didn't have a lot of women in positions that are of importance and in schools and stuff like that. Women and girls were taken more or less like brides, mothers. They stay at home, they cook, they raise children, they raise the family, they keep the homes. They were not found in anywhere where policies are being made and stuff. So the whole issue of gender equality, initially, the understanding is, let us have equal opportunities of both genders. Would you give me an opportunity, not because I'm a woman, but because I qualify? Would you give me an opportunity because, yes, I can do it just as much as the boys can do it? There's always a fight whereby boys or men would say, well, okay, so if you feel like gender equality is like that, would you carry a bag of cement, 50 bags of cement with me? I would see that as a backward type of reasoning, because for me, I would say biologically we are different. The way the body of a man is built up and the way the body of a woman is built up, different body built ups, biologically speaking. Then I'll come to intellectually. Intellectually, I also can be a manager. I also can be an engineer. I also can be a lawyer. I also can be a teacher, a nurse, and a doctor. Of which this type of reason was not there in the past. In the past, they were just looking at the biological makeup of a woman, soft, sweet, should be at home, raising children, be a wife, and be a bride. Intellectually, they were not thinking about it. So the whole notion of gender equality, we are trying to bring in the issue of women also are intellectually capable to be everything and anything they can be, just as much as a man could be, just as much as a man can be. So the reason why most of the times gender equality would be seen as a women thing is because the ones who were mostly victimized is the ones who were trying at least to push a little bit up so that they can match up, and they can't match up the energies. Maybe we can reach 40-60%, women 40, men 60, at least, or 35, 65, if at all we are going to get that, so that when we start, it should seem as if we are working equally, because most of the times it is the men that are always on top. So we are empowered in those that have been taught by the society. So I will keep on mentioning society because it has raised us into believing we are brides as women. I'm a gender activist. I always talk, okay, equality, both men and women, let's fight for all of them rights. But I would say the boys also are victims of the society. The society didn't raise them right. The society didn't do them justice, because the society were raising them as, okay, heroes. Yeah, you have to be warriors. You have to be breadwinners. You have to go out and fend for your families. Don't allow a woman to overtake you. The moment society is raising the boys and the men like that, the men will come back and they're told that, okay, where every time a woman is speaking against you, the woman is being rude, a woman is not being humble enough. So the boys, they will fight this whole thing of gender equality because it has been misunderstood. In my statement, I placed area 1 on the poster, I said, so long as the stakeholders involved in the issue of gender equality, which were males and females, do not understand the whole meaning of gender equality, is going to be fight. So the area people understand that gender equality, we are not fighting one gender. We are not fighting men. We are trying to bring equality. Most of the times it seems like, okay, they're saying girl child, because take it from me. How many times are boys forced to marriages? You say, yes, they are forced. We have boys forced to marriages. I have examples. I've made some. I've worked with some. But you would see the percentages now. If 10% of 100 boys, of boys are sent to marriage, that means we have 90% of girls. Which one should we fight against? End boy marriages? No, we would definitely say end girl child marriages. So what you are fighting right now, if the society, or rather men, would just come to a point of realizing that, let's just help the ladies or the women fight for their rights. You'd say that we would have this issue of gender equality all together at some point. But because it's like one gender which has been victimized for a long time, is fighting. It's fighting a lot. Okay, I'm having feedback. Someone should mute their mic. Lumbani Tembo. Lumbani. Good. Thank you. All right. So, like I was saying, that it's because over the time, over the years, we've been having this fight. Yeah, we've been having this fight. Okay, give us equal rights, men. No, you can't have equal rights. We are the head of the family. We are the breadwinners. No, we're not trying to say you're no longer going to be the heads. You're actually going to be the husbands, because there are different gender roles assigned to you by the society. What I'm looking for is, would you give me opportunities? Would you not see me as the bride? The moment you see a girl, don't see me as a potential wife. Would you see me as someone who can also achieve something? Become a doctor, become an engineer, become a carpenter. You get? So, because men are fighting it, there's a problem. Where did it go wrong? The question we're asking today, where did it go wrong? I would say it went wrong when men started to fight it. When men started to see women as arising competitors. Because for men, they're like, women are rising, women will take over the world. But no, that is not the main thing. It's about women. We always say when we are doing everything that nothing for us without us. We are the ones that have been victimized. The notion of gender equality has come in because it is trying to make us equal with the men when it comes to opportunities and other assignments, the policy making, policy implementation. So because we are the ones that have been victimized a lot, we are the ones that fight a lot, because we're like, okay, it looks like men already have their rights. They don't need to fight. Let's fight. So the moment when women are fighting more, it seems like the whole notion of gender equality is about women, but not necessarily. It's not like that. It's because men are holding on. It's like it's like the men are holding on a rope in their hand, and we're like, can we share the rope? Can you hold that side? I hold this side, and the men are just holding it. So what women are doing is, okay, I'm going to be pushing the rope rather in your hands. It is going to be hurting you and be creating bruises. At the end of the day, men who said women are fighting us. Women are not fighting men. So where it went wrong, and why it seemed like the boy child is not, is because those that are supposed to be with the boy child and hold hands with women, because in all these things, men are supposed to hold hands with women, fight for the girl and the boy child together. But the moment women will try to fight for boys at some point, they'll be like, Mukwape pelesa anyamata. Would you leave them alone? Would you not sit them down and give them some principles? These men are already born strong. They're already born heroes. They're already born breadwinners, family hate and stuff like that. So where did it go wrong is the misunderstanding. Where did it go wrong is the way society raised men and women, and the things that we are not even letting go. And also, women are also at the forefront of not helping gender equality, because you see, I as Maureen would be standing for a member of parliament of a particular region. My fellow women will not go and vote for me. For them, no, a woman cannot go to parliament. Women fighting their fellow women. It is not their fault. It is society. Society brought them up like that. Society has made women and men believe that men should be at the top. This is society. You'd see even during university application, mothers will be telling their daughters, apply for a more feminine course. Apply for a man. What does that even mean? Which one is a more feminine course? So it is not, and the girls who apply for that course because their mothers told them so. It's not a problem. Society has raised us like that. So where did it go wrong? Misunderstanding. It's the same thing with democracy. People will just hear, okay, democracy will entail freedom of expression. So they will say things about anyone, everywhere, on the social media, intimidating people, cyberbullying people because of a misunderstanding that has been there. So what has gone wrong is misunderstanding. People need to be educated. Things have to be interpreted. People have to be, okay, it's not that there's a fight. No one is fighting the other. We just want equal rights. You have it based on merit. I have it based on merit. Don't give me just because you think a woman cannot climb a rope and be an electrician at ESCOM. No, actually, yes, give me a position and trust in the capabilities. Everyone is trainable. Everyone can be anything. And everyone can be anything as long as they've been trained. and also their minds have been trained to say, yes, you can do it. So society is fighting with its own. The moment society realizes that we are the ones fighting ourselves, we are the ones fighting our own selves, these things will be okay. These things will go right. But the moment society will just cling on to its own values, its own cultural values. I'm not saying we should let go of the cultural values, but then we let it be known that most of these things are toxic. They've been fighting both men and women. So what women are saying is, okay, since you cannot do it, we are going to do it for ourselves. We're going to take our girls to school. We're going to bring girl initiatives. We're going to make girl empowerment. So when men see that, they're like, you know, when a woman wants to do something, they do it with all their heart, right? So when men see that women are being vigilant, they are doing things about them, they feel like women are fighting them. They feel like, oh, this gender equality, in fact, we're not going to accept it. We're not going to bring opportunities. Women are trying to fight us. Women are not fighting you. You are the ones that are holding the things, holding the rights. If you can just give equal rights to everybody, you would see that gender equality will be understood and be an easy thing for everybody. But it's like you are holding on. It's like you are holding on into the values. If you just let go, you realize this is a soft thing, a soft way to go. So this is where that's going wrong. Misunderstanding and lack of proper values that have been instilled in us by the society. I submit, Chair. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Maureen, for such a powerful speech. I believe people are taking notes because you're going to be given opportunities to ask questions and whatnot. Right now, let me invite George Kamundi to deliver his speech. George, don't forget to introduce yourself, and yeah, the floor is yours. Mr. Kamundi, are you there?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. My name is George Kamundi. I'm a social worker and I'm a teacher as well. I've also an interest in the boys mentorship programs. So, yeah, so basically I just have an interest in trying to mentor boys to grow up into responsible men, and then, and I also do some sort of social work programs here and there. So I narrowed my statement down to education programs, that is school programs, which mostly target girls and mostly the sideline boys. That's how I narrowed my argument. So, yeah, so I think where has this gone wrong? First of all, I would say the society is where it has gone from the society. Because even in the beginning, we were told that the boy should go to school. Why? Because he's going to be the head of the family. And he's going to be the head of the family. He has to provide for the family. And the girl can easily get married and he should be taken care of by the boy. So each and every time we will say, let the boy go to school and let the girl stay home, or maybe let the girl go to school up to some age, and after that, she's going to get married off, and then the girl take care of her. So that's what, suppose of that now, there was an emphasis on the guy going to school to make it in life so that he might be able to take care of his family. So now because of this narrative which we had in the societies, now these organizations have now know that's what things are supposed to be. Even the girls as well, they have the right to proper education, they have the right to finish their school and, pursue different careers. So what happened now? So because of that now, we now saw a multitude of NGOs, a multitude of these organizations and programs trying to implement girl programs so that they could encourage girls to go to school, so that they have to help to let them know that they have the same opportunity as boys. So from the societies where we got the things wrong, just saying that only the boy is supposed to attend education just so that they can support their society. I fully agree with the statement which says that if you educate a girl, you have to educate the whole nation, which is very true. But then our society said no, that's the way around. So because of that, now it's sort of like some sort of a fight in that statement. Saying not only the boy, not only the boy is supposed to take care of the family, and now they are trying to change that narrative and say all of them together they can have a better future. So the problem is there now has been an overemphasis on the girl programs in terms of school programs. So there's an emphasis on the girls in terms of how for them to do more in school, and in so doing, they have now left the boy aside because they think the boy is already taken care of. The society already supports the boy to go to school. So there's no need for us again to go for the boy because he's going to be fine. Because the society will always be on his side, and the girl has nowhere else to go. So what do? Let's now focus our attention on the girl. As much as I support this, I support that we should, in our very best efforts, encourage the girl child, empower them and give programs to empower them to go to school and to make a life out of themselves, to make their own careers. It is very dangerous if we silence the boys and just involve the girls only. Because, these boys, by the end of the day, as they're growing up, they'll feel detached. They'll feel neglected. They'll feel as if they don't matter in the society. Now, what happens? That young boy is growing up knowing that it doesn't matter. It doesn't count the society. And you expect that boy to be a leader in his home, to be a leader in the society everywhere he goes. He's going to grow up thinking that that girl child is his enemy, not his friend. See, because they have always been sidelined. Now, those are the sidelining issue. Every opportunity which comes about, the boy will fight it off and say, let me have this, and let the girl not have part of what I'm having. Why? Because the girl has always been taken care of in the heavens. So it's my time myself now to make something else for myself. This as well might lead to these young men going into marriages and abusing their wives. Why? Because they don't feel valued, because the girl has always been valued. So for them to feel valued, they feel like they have to dominate this woman. And what will they do? They'll begin to abuse their wife. They'll begin to abuse their children because they feel they're not taken care of. Why? Because in the beginning, back in the schools, it was only about the girl child, not them. They were taught, no, wait, this is for the girls program. And they've grown up with that resentment saying that I really don't want it this sad. I have nothing to do sad. So instead of us trying to bridge this gap of gender inequalities, we just widen it and it becomes worse and worse because we need to involve this boy child in all the initiatives which we are happening in the schools. You see that? And now what happened? Instead of us trying to create a harmonious society, we are now creating more divisions because we are only focusing on one gender. And the other gender feels sidelined, whereas the other gender feels that, oh, we are more important than the other gender. Why? Because it's only about them who are being empowered. So at the end of the day, we are creating more and more conflicts between these two genders. You see the boys always studying the women, even the women get always been beat about the boys doing ABCD because in the first place, they were not taught to work together. They were not taught to be in harmonious relationships and for them to build relationships to help one another excel. So in the very first place, it has gone wrong in the societies whereby we've been taught that these men, because they'll be leaders, because they'll be providers, they have to go to school. And the girls, because they'll be taken care of, they have to stay home. You see, that's where it all went wrong. We have to address that issue, saying that even though the man, we should say he's a leader, whatever it is, but still we have to promote everyone's education for them to grow up in a modern society. It's really not good to see. It's really not good to see in the family or in a situation whereby it's only the males who are learned and the women are not that much educated. That's why we see so many abuses happening. That's why we see many girls, women being oppressed, have been oppressed because they didn't acquire that much of education. So in the education sector, for us, even in the whole world as large as well, even if we are to create a world or a country or a place whereby there to some extent some equality, proper equality, we have to involve all these genders in school programs. Even if we say those programs are targeting girls, still involve the boys in those programs. Let them know why we are targeting girls and how can they come along to help the girls in those programs. But if you only segment the boys, then we will not stop talking about gender equality. And it will always be a problem, an issue into infinity because we don't develop this tool. It will not become sort of competition. Let me the best because I have to show that I'm the best. We want to show that our gender is the best. So those issues now, this program which only target girls cannot really, in my opinion, that is, they can't really bridge this gap between gender inequality. We have to involve both of them and try in our best ways to make sure that these two people, they should understand that it's not about competition, but it's about working together, knowing that each and every one of us, we are capable in our own ways, in a different ways. And if we work together in different ways, we might create a better society because the boys' abilities and the girls' abilities, when they are combined, they might bring us something very good and very amazing. So, yeah, that's where that's how we should see it in the type of society, is how we raise our children. We should raise them knowing that each of these genders, they're equally important. They all bring the same value on the table. And therefore, they should all be involved in all gender programs. I can say so in a short while. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, George, for an amazing speech. I believe Violet, you're ready now.
Yes.
Wow. All right. Okay.
Yes.
Drop it like it's hot.
All right. Hi, everyone. So I'm Violet Kamanga. I'm an accountant. Well, I would say that this topic on gender equality, and more especially in the programs of gender bias and gender equality, I would say that in the first place, we haven't gotten to really distinguish the difference between gender and sex. When it comes to gender equality as well opportunities to both of these sexes. So I would really say that lately there are a lot of programs which are more targeting women and ladies and girls. But I was looking at it at the technological world that we're in right now, that things have changed and the mindset is changing a lot. But sadly, we really don't get to hear more programs which are also concerning, which are also targeting men or boys in our schools, just because the society still thinks that a boy, the way they are natured, like the way they are born, it's just that way that they have control over everything and stuff. That's why we have to teach more on ladies, on women. But I would say that's not the case anymore. Not everywhere, but mostly. I would say that women nowadays, growing up, taking from my perspective as a woman, we really know what our rights are. We know how we know like. We know what we can do and what we cannot do. So basically, this gender equality, I would say it's no longer equal anymore because there are a lot of programs which are targeting women. I was checking on the internet to see how many programs are there for women empowerment in Malawi, and I had a list of over 40 programs. But when I searched for men, it was I didn't find anything specific for men. I don't know if there is anything. But it was more of youth now, maybe a combination of both boys and girls. But then let's take it at a point whereby these women have been given a platform whereby they can meet as women and talk about their rights and talk about and tell them that talk about their weakness, that they're not weak anymore. They can do this and that. They are free to talk of their unfairness, and there are people out there who are fighting for that so that they shouldn't feel that anymore. But is there any platform that even men can do that? Looking at what has been happening, more especially here in Malawi, you find that a lot of things that are happening, let's say like suicide or maybe drug and substance abuse, you're going to find that it's more men than women who are doing that. And even these days, if you find the percentage of how many people now are pursuing more with their studies, you're going to find that nowadays is more of women and not men. Why? Because these men now feel like it's more like a threat to them, I would say, because even let's take an example of an advert that will encourage for women to apply, which is not wrong. But think of it how it would impact a man who has never attended any program to tell them that it's not a threat. A woman is not a threat to you. It's just that it's how they were built up, or it's how the society looks at them that they are weak. But we're just trying to promote them or anything. It would be like a threat to men, and they will not even bother to say, "Let me apply for this or that." Why? Because I feel like I think this is for women, and this is more of bringing a lot of men down. So I would say that. Gender is not all about women. It's both sexes having equal opportunities, that I can work hard as a woman as much as a man can work hard. I can achieve what a man can achieve when it comes to my social status or my academic or whatsoever. But it shouldn't be a threat to men. And at the same time, I feel like because there are a lot of programs which are encouraging women, it's it's more of being misunderstood with human rights, because you find that, as I've said, gender equality is not about being a male or female, but it's about having equal opportunities as a male or female. You're going to find that even in our homes, the way girls or the way women are now responding in their homes is so disrespectful, because they feel like they have more power. They haven't really seen that they haven't really been told what it is all about, that it's not that you're more powerful than a man, or that we're trying to bring men down so that you can be up, but it's all about that you can do what these people can do even outside your house. So this thing has to really be clear, even in the programs that women are doing. The programs that we have on women, it has to be clear of what it is about. It's not about you taking the power of a man, but it's about you becoming outside your homes or in your workplaces, everywhere you go. It's that mindset of having an equal opportunity to say, I can also do this. I am not weak. I cannot be looked down on. So I would say that, just to conclude, I would say that let there be more programs on men, just because of how now the society is turning about, just because of how men are turning out to be these days, because they feel threatened, because they feel down, because they are not considered anymore. So let there be those programs, let there be those platforms whereby these men can also voice out their unfairness, because we only hear one side, the women, but how about we hear from men? How unfair are they? I understand that men don't really like to talk much about their feelings, but what if we create a platform for them where they can express their feelings only as men, and not together with girls and boys, but maybe just a platform for them, so that also them they can be heard, and we can also learn to understand how they feel, and also fight for their rights, as well as also fight for their empowerment as well, so that the world should be a better place for everyone, and not for one side of our sex. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Violet, for such an amazing speech. And right now we're jumping into our last speaker for the night. She goes by the name of Ella Hamwaka, and I believe you are ready. I believe today network is going to be on your side. So Ella Hamwaka, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Mustafa. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Yes, network is better today.
I can see that.
Okay, thank you so much. As already introduced, my name is Ella Hamwaka. I am a cybersecurity specialist. So I did my bachelor's degree in cybersecurity, and I'm currently pursuing my master's in computer science and IT. So yeah, that's what I do. I'm all about IT and securing systems, penetration testing, incident response, child online protection, and all of that. I'm basically the IT girl. So yes, about today's topic, boy-girl equality in school programs. I personally, I should first of all say I'm proud to be a woman. It's been a wonderful and interesting experience. And it's also been a great thing working with the other gender as well. So it's been a path of growth, as well as understanding how society really works and how it thinks about us based on our gender and all of that. So throughout the years of my life, I've gotten to realize that we have so many programs. We have activists, feminists, these are all words that came about in respect to supporting other human beings, be it in education, be it in just being alive in general. So feminists are going to focus on making life better for the girl child, making sure they get, they have the equality that they need. Activists are going to fight for the same, that the child is getting whatever they need. So I've gotten to realize that there's a lot going on that emphasizes on us women's empowerment. And it's very necessary. I feel like it's very necessary because we have been known to be minority, and that's just a fact. Women have been known to be minority for so many years that in the very beginning, women were not allowed to work, were not allowed to join the army, were not allowed to do anything that a man could do. Women were actually known as traditional wives, meaning to say we're supposed to stay home, we're supposed to do the chores, making sure our husbands are okay and everything else. But times have gotten to change. It's actually not long ago that Malawi started allowing women to work in the army. But now we can see a lot of women on high positions in our defense force, our police, and all those other fields. So now I believe that's where it comes in to say women, we were a minority for such a long time that programs started coming up to, especially because of the heroes that came about. If we give an example of the United States, we had women like Harriet Tubman. So there are a lot of movies about her right now. So Harriet Tubman helped save about 10,000 slaves, right? Those that were working in cotton fields. So because of that, I feel like these small stories, women making impact, slowly stepping out of our comfort zone and what everybody thought us to be, brought us to the spotlight to say, okay, maybe women are capable of so much, and we were given room to grow that. As a result, we have had people support us, and it's been so exceptional, and I feel like in that process, men or boys in general started to feel left out, and it's very much understandable, I believe. Because then again, in the process of making sure women or us ladies had room to grow, there was also some kind of discrimination, and I can say favoring, because to some context, school was made easier for us ladies. So they put a certain mark for us ladies to pass, and it would be slightly lower than the men. So we ladies would say, why is it lower? We want to be equal to men. So as already stated by Maureen, she did make a good point to say that we are physically different from men. There are a lot of things that are different, but I feel like these programs came about to make sure that we put in our full potential and the world gets to see that we're actually capable of so much, But in that process again, boys began to feel left out. So women are being included and times have changed. That we should thank God for, and we really appreciate the efforts of everybody, because even now the leaders in our societies are making sure that women are included in programs, and it's actually some kind of a rule, I can say, that organizations and companies, when hiring people, they have to make sure they include that they are not biased and they encourage women to apply. So because of trying to create room for women, we have put down the other gender. So I say this not from a perspective of trying to please anybody, but it's the fact of the matter of what has happened over the years. So we should learn to differentiate. Sorry, is it Nathan? Your mic is open.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. So we should work for equity and equality. There's a difference. Okay, when we understand the word equality, what comes to mind is making sure that all the opportunities that men have, women should also have. Yes, true. But there are also some differences that cannot allow us women to do some things. As said, our physical bringing, and all of that. So now, instead of using the word equality, why can we not use the word equity? Because equality says, let's say there's a football match going on in a stadium, yeah? And people are watching from the fence, okay? So equality says, I want the same, okay. Equality says, okay, a man is standing on a stool to look into the field. A woman should be given a woman should also be given a stool of the same size for her to see into the field, because that's equality, right? Same stool for them to look into the field. But then we also forget other characteristics, such as women are shorter in most cases. Yeah. So yes, the man will be able to see into the field, but the girl still can't see into the field. So how do we help her? This is where equity comes in. It's more like equality, but at a pace that is favorable to both genders. To say, yes, there's a football match, both people want to look into the field. The man is standing on a stool and is able to see easily into the stadium, but the woman still can't see into the stadium. But what are they providing? Yes, they're providing equality. But in this case, what is actually needed is equity. So the stool of the lady has to be slightly, taller than the guys, just for them to work together and see. So my main point is to make sure that both genders are able to work together. It's the same with schools, yeah? So currently, I'll give an example of what is happening at the Malawi University of Science and Technology. I'm not sure if some of us have come across it. Students have been sent home from school simply because they haven't paid their school fees, right? So now the girls have been taught to go back to school because funding has been provided for the girls. So now there's a question in society to say, how about the boys? And honestly, I do not blame people asking that question, because what we need more is equity. Because we are now putting down another gender. We're trying to uplift the girl child. Yes, as I said, equity, it's more like equality in a sense that we make sure that people are working together at a pace where they can actually work together, not just providing them with the same resources and expecting them to perform the same. So another point I would say is we're focusing on the wrong things. Girls cannot work in some fields because we're believed to run off of emotions and men on logic. But that's the wrong perspective, That's why when you find a girl, I'm going to give an example of my field. When you hear that a girl is in IT, a girl is in, let's say, there's engineering, for example. We have very few civil engineers in our countries. So when we hear that a girl is applying for such programs, we question if they're capable, because we believe that girls run out of mostly emotions and men run off of logic. Well, I'll tell you, this is simply because of the upbringing. It's because of the mindset that we have. We have the mindset to say when raising a boy child, you have to be tough on them. You have to make sure that they think, as said, they have to be providers, right? But we don't teach that to the girl child as well. So as a result, we're actually forced to learn that on our own. So now it's becoming more like a competition, but in actual sense, what is needed is we're supposed to make sure these genders are able to work together. And if it's logic, we're human beings. We need emotions. We need logic for us to function. So if we're only teaching that to one gender, what are we teaching to the girl child? It's like we're already bringing her down. So we need to have programs in schools that allow the boy child and the girl child to work together and not to compete, because that's what it's bringing. Because the image that's coming to the boy child is so many resources are available for the girl child. So what I have to do is I have to work even harder so that I beat her. So that is a bad thing. So if only our systems, could create programs or room for children, I shouldn't just say children, or the girl child, the boy child, men, women, whatever age, to work together, to understand that they need logic to function, they need emotion to function, because that's where you find that the boy child has not learned how to handle emotions. That's how you find most men are abusive. You find most men do not even, a high percentage of people committing suicide are men because they're taught to use logic. But sometimes logic isn't enough. You need emotion. So that can only work if both genders work together. A good example that I'll finally give is the programs that are offered in secondary schools. I know that we have some people from other countries here. I'm just going to recognize Stephen, who's joined from Ghana. So I know that the landscape in Ghana might be different, or it might be the same. It might be the same anyway, considering the fact that we're all in Africa, right? So I'll give an example of the home economics program, which is often offered as a subject in schools, right? So the first thing that comes to your mind is that home economics is meant for ladies. Why? Because women are the ones to cook. I literally know men that tell you I don't cook, and they're so proud of it. But you're human. You need logic, you need emotion. And if you're running off of logic, don't you think it's important that you should know some of these skills for your survival? So now when we think of home economics, the problem is our education system has actually accepted to say boys' schools do not have home economics. Boys' schools have additional math. Boys' schools have computer studies. Girls' schools have home economics. They have social studies. They have life skills. But what you have to know is that home economics is a subject that's needed by and should be allowed for both genders. We have men, for example, in the United States, who are excellent chefs simply because they've been offered the room to grow. And because of that, you find they're blossoming in the field. So if only our education system would also make room for those that want to grow in that area. The same way some of our parents would stop us to say, I don't want you to be listening to music so much. I don't want you to become a DJ. I don't want you to become an artist, simply because they feel like it's it won't make you money, it won't help you survive. Okay, fine. But then what if it's your passion and that's actually where you belong? So we need to ask ourselves all these questions. So I'm just going to conclude to say that gender equality is important, but what we mostly need right now is gender equity. We need to make room for both genders to grow. If we want the girl child to do better, okay, let's give her books. Okay, we want the boy child to do better, let's give him books. But let's say that due to some issues, the girl needs other books. Let's give her those other books. Let's not say no, equality. Now that's a problem because we are biologically, scientifically different, but we both need logic and emotions. So that's just how I'm going to close my remarks. And thank you so much for listening. Over to you, Mustafa.
Thank you so much, Ella, for yet another wonderful speech. I believe we all appreciate what these speakers have actually spoken. And I believe you were jotting down something, because there's going to be a follow-up, some sort of follow-up statements or questions or comments and whatnot. So, as I said, our last speaker is not around. She said, okay, she has to be somewhere. So yeah, those are the speakers that Tegeta Project prepared for the conference. Okay, and now I would like us to think about what our speakers have actually spoken. All right. Well, we have Joel, who said he couldn't point out anything, like there is something, he just knows that there's something wrong, but then he couldn't point something which is wrong. And then we have Maureen, who spoke a lot of things about our culture, our understanding of the concepts of gender, as well as how we welcome the whole idea of gender equality. It led to misunderstanding, fighting, and whatnot. And then we had George, who said something also about how we were brought up. Our society is where the problem is. We created competition, and we targeted so much on girls trying to level the competition, and in the process we created the gap. And then Violet also talked about that gender equality gender equality is not necessarily a threat to the other gender, but it must be it isn't supposed to make men feel uncomfortable and insecure and whatnot. We should just be really careful when it comes to trying to promote women. And then Ella here also talks pretty much the same. Like, we need to give, as much as we are to give equal opportunities, somehow we also need to give equal treatment. And I don't really have to say much on that because she's just recently spoken about it. So right now, after hearing all this, all right, we want us to now consider the measures that need to be put in place. All right, we know there are a lot of measures that has already been put in place, and we are here talking about them. All right, we have seen fault in them. We have seen so many flaws in the measures that we're taking in trying to promote gender equality. So now, this 21st century, 2024, what sort of measures do you think needs to be taken in order to deal with these issues? If there is any other measures, if there is none, you're free to say, I don't think there is none. But even if it means prayer and fasting, please, what measures can we consider right now in order to deal with these issues that we're facing, especially gender equality in school programs? Yeah, so I think the order will go as before. Joel has disappeared, then the maze will start with Maureen. You have 3 to 5 minutes to speed it out.
I think the prayer and fasting, yes, you'll be there. All right. Okay. I think I mentioned earlier when I was giving my submission that people don't know. And because people don't know, people misinterpret, people misunderstand. So the first thing, let people know. Let people know. I was looking at the statistics. So about 90% of Malawi lives in the rural area. A definition of a rural area is a place where people don't have access to electricity, to water, to proper schools, proper healthcare, and internet, or any other type of media. Yeah. Now, I was saying 90% means only 10 is in the urban. So I left out the 90% and I looked at the 10%. Those that are so-called in people living in the urban area. So let's take Zomba, Blantyre, Lilongwe. We have places, few places where people have access to internet and stuff. We have places like Chinamali. It's an urban area that has other people that don't even have a phone, don't have a radio, meaning to say limited access to information. Now, I thought to myself, let me leave this 10%. Let me go back to the 90%. In a country like Malawi, 90%. That means this is where we're having a lot of child marriages. Yeah, mostly girls, child marriages. This is where we're having girls girls and women being subjected to harmful cultural practices. You get? So we have all these things happening. 90% kuja. Now I am thinking, what went wrong? It's because people were not told. People were not informed. So for me, I would say, let people know. Interpret the law to them. Because in some cases, some women, even some men, don't even know that some things people are doing is them infringing on their rights. So interpret the law to people. Interpret these concepts. Let people know. That's number one. Number two, let there be more of follow-ups on policy implementation. We are very good at making policies. Very good. We are the smartest when it comes to writing. Theoretical, brilliant people. But when it comes to the ground, zero. We do nothing. There are no follow-ups. There have been money released to do workshops, money released to do projects, campaigns, all those things. People do all those things on a daily basis. We see people go to workshops, to meetings, making plans, writing things. But how many of those things do we implement? Zero, or rather, no policy implementation. So there should be follow-ups. CSOs should follow up on the government policies that they have made, on the policies some private institutions and private organizations have been making. Let there be follow-ups of policies, because we rejoice a lot. We are good at paperwork. Agenda 20, the Vision 2020 of Malawi is one of the biggest paperwork that we did as a country that did not help us. Another country took it, and now they are one of the biggest countries out there. I mean, they took our document because we were good. We're so good at writing. Very good people. We write good points. Now, what should we do? Policy implementation. Let there be follow-ups. If we are to be at the neck of things, let us be at the neck of those that were making policies. Okay, on such a date, you guys signed a memorandum of understanding. Such a thing will happen. Women are going to be protected. There's going to be gender equality. There's going to be equality in boys and girls. Let's ensure that we follow those things up. And that's number 2. Number 4, not number 4, number 3. I believe it all starts with us. One person telling the other, we are enemies of ourselves. We fight ourselves. I wish we would have these discussions now and again. Let's tell one another, even in workplaces. Let's check what we are saying as people, because we are our own enemies. Oh, I can't do it. Oh, he can do it. We are the enemies of ourselves. Let's stop fighting ourselves. Let's stop being the enemies of ourselves. By this, we realize that people will not just see us as people that always talk. And yes, Ella was talking about emotions. Yeah, and she was saying logic is not enough when emotions are not there. So yes, we need both. We need to have these sober-minded discussions. Okay, you know what? I need your logic. You need my emotions. I also have my logic. You also have emotions. If we work together, I mean, we can achieve something. So we should stop being the enemies of ourselves. Let's start up. Let's not wait for organizations as individuals, as people. We can start as people. Just you as yourself, advocating. Sometimes we post memes on our statuses. We can post the meanings of what gender equality is. People will see it. They might not hear it today, but little by little they'll begin to come bring oh, okay, understand. Oh, okay, this is what they mean. Oh, this is what they mean. We should stop being enemies of ourselves. I believe I've answered. I've exceeded my time. I'm so sorry, Chair.
I know you have a word to talk, but thank you so much for that. Right now, George, please, what measures should we put in place in order to deal with the issues that have been discussed a few minutes ago?
Thank you so much. Thank you. Again, I'll narrow it down to education programs. And I think Mama Nebamba is able to open up a pair of us. Anyway, so if we had to solve these issues about boy-girl equality in school programs, I think first of all we have to address the root cause of this, and it is the society's how the society brings this thing on these genders. So first of all, I think we have to sensitize the society about the importance of education to both. To all genders, and why it is very important for us to ensure that all genders have equal access to education, they have equal access to the resources of education, and that everyone they have the right to go to school, they have the right to attend education, they have the right to each and every single resource of the country for them to reach their top in terms of education levels. So if we address that and we address those issues, I think it will now start from the homes now, the parents and the guardians trying to improve or empower their daughters, their sons, that they should work together in harmony for them to achieve their goals, that is education. So that would be the first thing which we can do as a country if we have to address boy-girl equality in school programs. Secondly, we should still have programs which target girls. I think it's very important because we still have a huge problem in terms of those areas. But then in those programs, I think it's very important to engage boys as allies in those programs. Let's engage these boys and young men as allies in terms of trying to promote gender equality, whether it's in the schools or wherever it is. They should be part of the conversation. Because if you see most of these programs which are trying to fight for equality, they only involve women only. It's only women discussing about these issues. It's only about women platforms. And as I already mentioned, when the guys that they feel left out, they develop mechanisms or strategies to fight off those kind of programs. So if we are to involve all people together and try to let's work together as a team and try ways how we can bring equality in school programs, I think it'll work. I think it's very important to teach these boys, these young men, the importance of why all genders should work together. Teach them healthy masculinity, because as Maureen was mentioned about toxic masculinity, which is a very big issue these days. It's very important to teach them about healthy masculinity as well. They should know how to conduct themselves as boys, as men. All right. Teach them why it's important for them to sit down with the other gender and find strategies or find ways how they can promote their education. In such a way, even though these programs might be coming to girls, you see that even these boys, on the other hand, they even be supporting their sisters and say, "Oh, fine, this is a girl program, but list, and they won't feel sidelined. They also work and would. As much as this is a camp for the girls, I also have a part to play as well. I also have to work hard as well, make sure that I don't marginalize, I don't make her feel left out. So let's even involve the boys, even if it's about the girl, the program is only about girls, even still involve the boys to come along their sisters, to come along the female gender and help them in those areas. I also agree with Maureen as well, we should always go back and review these policies. Are they really working? Because as she has already mentioned, we are really good at implementation programs, but then we really don't do good when to go back and see if those programs are working. So it is very important for us to see if we have implemented those programs, what is the effect on the ground? Are they working or not? And if they're not working, what is going wrong? And what should we do for us to make those programs to work? So it is very important for the stakeholders, every stakeholder, to make sure that to always emphasize on reviewing their programs and seeing, to evaluate the programs if they've made an effect. And if we are sincere with ourselves, we see that most of the programs, they've made any effect. Things are still going worse and worse. And now what we do, we now have to find ways. I believe one of the reasons why we have so many girl programs trying to promote girl empowerment in schools, and most of them are not really working, is because there isn't much time for them to go back and assess how effective these programs are. That's why you see we keep on having many of these programs, but nothing's working. So if we go down on the ground and assess this program and see the effectiveness, it will really help us to bridge this gap between the boys and the girls in the education sector. And lastly, I also think we should also create gender-sensitive policies, where these policies which involve boy-girl education, equality in boy-girls in program, whereby we should always involve all genders. Okay, as much as we want to fight for the girl child and empower her education, we can do that by making it an all-inclusive program. Everyone else work together. And in so doing, as I already mentioned, you will see that even the boys will come along and say, let's promote our friends, let's promote our sisters, because they are also being included in those sectors. They also been given a chance to speak out their views, to speak out what do they think. And also in such a case, we be able to hear about their problems and how much these things affect them. In so doing, we might be able to come up with solutions which will help both genders to work together and to achieve a gender equity society, if we include all these people in together. Even in these schools, which we have, even in the schools, whether it's in the colleges and the secondary schools, let our curriculums be those which include all genders. They should be designed in a way, but they're responsive to all genders. That the teachers, the educators, the lecturers, everyone, they should be trained how to be gender responsive to all genders, to know that this which they provide is not only the boy child or the girl child, but it's for everyone else. Now, they should work in harmony, knowing with what we're delivering this right now is going to all both genders. So yeah, that's what I would say can be done to promote at least gender boy-girl equality in school programs. Thank you.
Thank you so much, George. Now we would love to jump to the next speaker, Violet. Violet, are you still around?
Oh, yes. I think a lot has already been said. I'll agree with George, as I've said, that it's more becoming a threat to men of how many programs out there are for women and for girls. So I would suggest that there should be really those platforms whereby men can also talk out. There should be those safe spaces where men can voice out how they are feeling about this whole gender thing, so that at least even if they are to come up with policies, they should know in what areas they're supposed to look into when it comes to men, and not just looking at women. So a lot has already been explained on that. And again, I would also agree with George that in this gender equality program, they should really make men to be allies for in all these programs, because I feel like if men are included, if men are involved in these empowerment programs and every program that has to do with equality, it is much easier for them to understand what they're all trying to achieve, what the policy is all trying to achieve, unlike something that they're just overhearing it outside, that ladies are meeting, this is what they're discussing. But if they're really involved in all those programs, I feel like it would be a safe approach even for their mental health to be aligned properly, to say that I think it's not something that we are fighting against each other, but it's something that we're all humans who are trying to survive, and as much as I can do this girl can also do this. So yeah, and I already said it, that the society, yes, plays some role in how these men think, but there should also be those awareness in our societies that I don't know. Kuri Malawi kuno statistics yake kwenda bwanje of how many people are aware that we all have human rights and we all can do this and all that. But I feel like as technology is coming up and everything is growing so vivid, I believe that a lot of people already know that I should promote my child, I should promote my girl child. But as much as even parents outside are there to promoting their girl children to not become just housewives or anything, I would say they should also do the same to their men, that you also can do this as much as you're a man, but know that sometimes you can fail just because you're overlooking this, or just because you feel like you can do anything. So both in the schools and even outside school in the society, there should be those awarenesses that even a man needs we all need to hear from someone. We all need mentorships from some people, so that at least our mentality, our mindset should be aligned all together. So that's all I can say for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Violet. Now to our last speaker for the night, Ella Hamwaka. What is cybersecurity going to say?
Hi, Mustafa. Thank you so much. Okay, so my final point would just be that there is need for more co-education schools, because I feel like most of these gaps can be fixed and closed if we have more co-education schools. Because girls I went to girls' secondary school, so mostly what we're taught is to be girls, you know. Of course, we're taught a lot of manners and all of that etiquette, but I feel like it's also important for both genders to be exposed to each other, with control, of course. But yeah, there's need for education schools to allow them to work together in projects and all of that. My second point should be that there should be an allowance of genders to take part in programs of their choice. So aside from creating more programs that allow them to work together, they should be allowed to take part in programs that they feel they can take part in, especially for their future. You know how they say you can take a horse to the river, but you can't force it to drink water. It's the same way. We shouldn't limit ourselves to say that our child has to go and do this program when they're more passionate about something else. If a boy is passionate about home economics, allow them to do it, because that's where passion comes from, and they'll be able to achieve a lot of things through that. So my other point is that there should be a lot of inclusion, especially, this can be achieved especially through competitions. To say that there's a competition, So the application procedures or requirements are that a team should have 4 girls, 4 guys, This will allow them to work together instead of just saying there is a competition and people should apply. A lot of girls are not going to apply, or they're going to apply with other girls, if you know what I mean. But if we can set such rules, it can allow us to work together and be more innovative, because we get to know how both genders are seeing things from different perspectives. My last point would be that let's be human. We have to be human. At the end of the day, logic, emotions, as I already said, these are things that we were naturally given by God. So let us use them. We shouldn't limit to say, no, this gender is supposed to have logic. No, this gender only runs on emotion. Let's be human. Let us first of all accept that both genders have that, and both genders are capable of this much. But there is also, as I say, need for equity. To say, as much as both genders are able to do this, there are some physical differences that have to be accepted in society, to say that, okay, for a girl to function properly and work together with a boy child, this is what she needs. And the same thing goes for the boy child. So yeah, my points, just to round up, we need more co-education schools, allowance of both genders to take part in whatever programs they want to, like of their choice. We need more inclusions in competitions with some rules and all of that. And the last one is we should just be human. All right. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you so much, Eva. You guys have said quite amazing things, cool measures that needs to be considered in dealing with this. And you're right. Okay, every step that can be taken, if it can be taken seriously with a lot of consideration, in a right manner, it can yield something positive. All right. As most of you have said, some of these programs were just started because they saw a need for the programs to start. But then along the way, we all have we all have seen that most of these programs are not working, and what should be done, we go back to where we started and see how best we can implement those programs. And let's be honest here, efforts have been made to promote gender equality, and we are so thankful for both government, other institutions like religious institutions, even at a personal level. We have seen so many people sacrificing a lot in order to promote gender equality. And most of the time we ask our questions, to what extent, all right, are we going to be doing this, and what have we achieved so far? But at the end of the day, I always go back to the basics and see how we started, where did we do good, and where did we do wrong, and how best can we address those issues. And before I say a lot of things that don't make sense, I would like to open the floor to everybody for questions. And if you happen to have a question, you can raise up your hand, or you can type in the chat, say you have a question. If you're at a place where you can't speak, you can also type the question in the chat, and I will read it out. Thank you so much. I believe our speakers are still here to answer those questions, and also the questions are also open to everyone to be answered. Thank you so much. So it's either our speakers did a very good job or they didn't do nothing at all. Or maybe I should start mentioning names from the top, bottom. Go, go. Go, go.
Hi, I have a question.
Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, thank you. So I was just looking at the NSO statistics report for 2022, and it appears that about 2 times more men go to university than women. So I just wanted, like in the light of the discussion which is being, which we are having, what could be maybe the reasons for some of the, or maybe let's say what could be the main problem that maybe we could be addressing by saying maybe we want equity, or maybe the issues about equality. Like, I want to understand the problem, so because I joined a bit late. So yeah, if maybe one could just, it's not directed to any one of the people, maybe they can just share their thoughts, but I just want to get clarity on the problem that maybe we could be addressing, because the statistics seem to be sharing a lot of things, like there's loans are given to, like the government loans are more given to more men than women, and yet scholarships for some of the in some of the faith-based organization or religious
I don't know if it's my network or I can no longer hear him.
Yeah, me too. I can't hear him. Nathan, you are inaudible. But I think we got the question, right?
Yeah.
All right. So you seem to have an answer to that.
No, not really. But okay, I think based on what you're saying, that the statistics are showing more guys, or rather more boys in the universities than the girls. I would say it's because more of the boys are the ones that have applied and they have qualified. Because we are, like I was saying, we are still fighting the fact that more girls are going to school, because more girls will go to school just to get an MSCE. They would not even want to go back to school, maybe to repeat if they haven't done well. Most of the guys are the ones in school. We still have more boys in school. We have, yes, like I was saying, yes, we are doing initiatives, girl child, but still we are not there. More guys, more boys are in school. So it's like in the class, if you have 50 boys and 39 girls, if 40 boys make it qualify for university and 15 girls qualify for university, it will be seen that, like, Kuti, more boys are in school, because more of them are the ones in school. More girls are still not in school yet. You get? So most of the girls, when they go to school, they just go to school maybe to reach an MSCE level. Oh, I just want to have a certificate. They will get the certificate and they will not proceed to university. So more of the boys will be in the university. So for me, I would say there are more in the university, like more boys in the universities, because more of them are the ones that are applying. More of them are the ones that are going to school. So yes, you would see as if more boys are in school, but it's not that because they are more in the university. It's because more of them are the ones that are going to school and they qualify for university. That's my opinion on that. I believe my friends will have another opinion.
Thank you so much. Anyone?
First of all, I agree with what Brenda said. I think there are more boys in schools. That's why you see a large number of them are basically to go to college. And secondly, I would still go back to my argument of saying that most of these guys have seen how much emphasis is being placed on the girl child.
I don't know if it's my network, but guys, can you hear Mustafa?
I can hear him. I don't know.
I did. I was able to hear you. I was able to hear George. I don't know if you were able to hear me.
Can I go ahead, or maybe you have to?
Yeah, I'm able to hear you too. I don't know about others, but yeah, go ahead.
All right, thank you. So I was saying the second reason why I think there are most boys in schools and colleges. I'm going to college. I would say also that this is just my opinion. I might be wrong on this, so please correct me. Also, it's because most of these young men they have seen how much emphasis is being placed on the girl child and how many programs are taking the girl child. And what do? They have no choice but to work hard on their own, making college, because they know they won't have that much. They won't have that privilege which the other genders have been empowered or maybe being helped, sponsored. So in like it's sponsored for them to go to college. So the only way for them to go there is for them to work extra hard. So that's why I think most of them they get the chance to go there because they know no one will come for them to uplift them or maybe to encourage them to go to college. It's all dependent on themselves. So in so doing, they're the ones who put more effort to go to college. And so because and thirdly is because again it's in a program knowing that the man has this huge responsibility to bear. So at the end of the day, it's either you make it and you take care of your family, your relatives, or you don't make it at all, and then you become a bum in the society. So because of those issues now, the boy child is now forced, we can say, I don't know if forces is the right word to use, but then they are encouraged, to work extra hard to go to school because they know that at the end of the day, they're the ones who are going to lift their family's burdens and look after them, whether it's in marriage, even their parents or siblings or whatever it is. So those are those reasons now it makes them to work extra hard and say, I have to make it because I have this huge thing to bear on my back and help people around me. So that's what I think. That's why I think we have this large number of guys in college and the ladies. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, George. I think as we always say on Take It Up Project, the conversations continue, and most of these most of the answers that you have, you can post them on the WhatsApp group. The questions that you have, you can also post them there. As you know, time is always a limitation. Even on Facebook, you can reach out to us. You can post, and people will be able to see and be able to hear what you have to say. Before anyone jumps in to answer the first question, I just wanted also to read out this question that Matthew had. He says, can you clarify between gender equality and girl empowerment? Because I see sometimes our rights as male are violated. Most government rules are favored to girls. Yeah, so it's about clarifying gender equality and girl empowerment. I strongly believe most of even me, sometimes I get confused. So yeah, can someone please clarify this too? Ella, please.
Yes, Mustafa.
Yeah.
Sorry, I did not.
Oh, you didn't hear the question?
No, I did not.
Okay. Can you clarify between gender equality and gender empowerment? Because I see sometimes male rights are violated. Most of the government rules favor girls. Okay, most of the government rules are favored to girls, especially in court.
Okay, so I can only answer this question from my knowledge. Keep in mind, I'm not an activist or anything. So the difference, I think, okay, when we talk of equality, we're talking of making sure that the opportunities are the same or are accessible to both genders, or there's inclusivity. But then when we talk of girl empowerment, these are just the programs that focus on empowering or giving girls the confidence to go into those opportunities, because the mindset that is there in girls, as I say, growing up, is that we're meant to run off of emotions, we're supposed to just stay at home. So even if you create a program for equality for both genders, I can guarantee you that 90% of the time, girls are not going to automatically dive into it. They need to be empowered to go into those opportunities. It's like we need to be groomed to take up those opportunities. So empowerment is usually just, if you pay attention, it's usually mostly trainings and all of that. Of course, you will hear things like guys are also supposed to be included, but it's mostly just to build confidence. So yeah, I also do understand when you say that most government rules favor girls. But as I said earlier on, this is because we have been minority for a really long time. So these programs are just there to build up confidence. But I can surely agree with you that I feel like there's a misunderstanding, because as I said, we need more of equity and not equality, because equality says you and I are equal. Okay, so if I'm being given a tough program with tough conditions, you should have the same. So that's why we also talk of people with disabilities. You can't give somebody that is okay. I'm not saying that those with disabilities are not okay, but you can't give somebody that is able and somebody that is not able the same opportunity with the same standards. You need to make sure that the person that is not able is being given standards that allows them to also be part. So we need equity, not equality. So yeah, that would be my comment. Thank you.
All right. Anyone who want to jump in and give in their thoughts?
Okay, just a quick opinion, Mustafa. For me, I think it's like when what everyone has said, gender equality, having everyone on board, having the equal opportunities for everyone, not sidelining one part, taking everyone on board, let everyone benefit. Women empowerment, I think I mentioned earlier, maybe he hadn't joined in yet. I said women empowerment is a notion of empowering girls that have been told you are a woman, you have to stay home. You're a woman, you have to be a bride, a mom, raise the home, be a wife. So for a long time, these women have been told and fed these type of things. This is how they have been raised. They were less empowered. They were powerless, in short. The empowerment movement is us giving power, giving a voice to the women that were voiceless, telling them you can speak up, telling them you can rise up. You can also be a businesswoman and a CEO. So empowerment is not necessarily trying to fight with gender equality. Gender equality is there. It's there. Empowerment, we're just trying to say, okay, so women, we have brought in another thing. We're calling it gender equality. We want you to reach there. We want you to be CEOs, because we cannot say women should also be CEOs. If the women don't have the qualifications, what will happen? So we are saying, okay, guys, girls rather, what they want is they need a CEO. You can also be one, but they need a master's degree. Would you come on, take your get your degree, then take your master's degree? What I'm trying to say is, for you to attain what they are looking for, we want to find those men. So because they are on top, we have to qualify. Yeah, they are on top. We have to be business women too. So what we're doing in empowerment is taking the women to the top. But okay, you can have a voice, because sometimes men will be like, okay, the women you want us to involve. They are not qualified. So in women empowerment, what we're doing is they are saying we are not qualified. Get the qualifications. That's what we're doing in empowerment. Thank you.
Yeah, that's really true. For me, I see it as empowerment is like a tool to achieve the equality. All right, so it's not more of the same. All right, you have to identify the need for equality, and then once you have identified the need, and then you look for ways how to achieve that. And empowerment has always been a tool in achieving a need for equality in both boys and girls.
Sorry,
I don't know if,
Mustafa, can I just add in? Sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
I wanted also to actually add the same response as yours as well, saying that I think the history of girl empowerment was because there was no equality. That's why there was this girl empowerment. Their aim was for them to achieve equality. But then, as the topic is, I think we have seen over time that it's been overemphasized. But then it's not really the same. But then that the girl empowerment came because they saw this gap between the male and the female, and that's why they said, okay, let's try to empower the girl so that we can achieve this equality. So empowerment, as Mr. Fazuli said, is as a result of because of the inequality which was there, and now they're trying to bridge that inequality. That's why we see the word the girl empowerment coming in at that time. But then, yeah, I think as Matthias was saying, I think, yeah, sometimes our rights have been violated, but I think it's because mostly we have seen how much the men have thrived so much than the ladies, and now we are trying to bridge that gap. So in trying to bridge that gap, we also try so much as well to fully involve the ladies that maybe at least they might reach where the men are and try to bring this equality. But so yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
And also just to add to the last part of the question, like most government rules favor to girls. There was a time when women would be abused. They wouldn't say anything. All right, fear that even if they go out there and say my husband is abusing me, people would always take her as someone who is not respectful, and she's trying to expose her husband and whatnot. So even the government itself tried so many ways in order to protect a woman or a girl child. All right, including trying to scare men to protect women. All right, so there were so many harsh punishments given to those, even women to women. All right, there were so many harsh punishment given to the one who is abusing or the one who is violating the rights of a girl or of a woman. So yeah, for me, I feel like it was a way to give the message out there saying, you dare to mess with a girl, you dare to mess with a woman, this is what's gonna happen. All right, but then you give someone wings, they will fly close to the sun, and it started backfiring at us. And yeah, we also had to rise up and fight for our rights as well. So yeah, the government is favoring, but looking at the background of everything, we would see they were just trying to enforce some of these laws to protect women and children and girls. Was I audible this time, or was I just speaking to myself?
You were speaking to yourself, sir.
Yeah, I noticed. All right, sorry. Well, okay. I was trying to respond to the last part of the question. Did you hear me responding to that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, good. Yeah, then
you went mute.
All right, but then I said what I had to say. But what I wanted to, what I said at the end was, if you have questions, please ask. We always find a way to respond to them if time is not allowing us. But then, yeah, please do not hesitate. Ask the questions. Plus, I'll also post a link to our WhatsApp group, and you join. I know most people don't usually ask questions there. They would prefer ask inbox, but then, yeah, please join. And yeah, please do.
Hello. I hope I'm audible, right?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, sorry, maybe you'll be hearing some background noise because of my colleagues. Mine is not good a question, but I think it's an observation and just a comment based on what our speakers have spoken. I think it has been an interesting topic, and all the speakers, I think they have pointed very well in all different aspects about this topic. So, based on my observation, and I can also say maybe it's my opinion and perception, mostly I think we have a problem on the area of monitoring the progress of the programs that are implemented. Because you'll see about the idea of empowering a girl child is a very good idea and a genuine one. If we talk about the equity, talk about equality, it's a very good thing because you will find out, I think since the ancient days, the women have been sidelined. And this sidelining, it comes from different perspectives. Number one, we can understand about our cultural background, okay, the society as a general, and also within that you find out that the genesis also comes from the religious beliefs, which have got some stipulation that they say a woman can do this, a woman cannot do this, a woman can do this, a man can do this, a man cannot do this. You see, so these things have been a bone of contention that have been bringing some of the problems, while other areas are being tried to be sorted out. So the greatest problem that I perceive or I've seen is our society and the gap of knowledge and information. I think it's the greatest problem for this problem to be fully addressed. I think when we reach at a certain point where people have got right knowledge and information, like these different speakers have spoken, I think and feel like a society can have well-mannered people who have got good intention and well-meaning on implementing anything without attaching something which is with the ill motive. For example, for us men, we can understand sometimes like maybe we're being sidelined on other things, or we're being forgotten on other things. But I think it's just the angle, how that ideology or that agenda is being implemented. Sometimes it comes with a full force, then the others might feel sidelined because of how that point has been laid out. So the greatest area of my comment I wanted to say, I think, is the information gap and also the society, our culture. I think it's the greatest contributing factor to this problem. So I think it's these areas they can be addressed and people being well informed about what is want to be achieved and how that thing want to be achieved, and what are the best strategies that can be used to achieve that thing without the sidelining or maybe without having some variations or some biasness. I think it will be a great idea because naturally a woman or any girl being a girl is not a license for a woman or a girl to be inferior. Okay, and also we need also to understand that for you just being a mere man, it doesn't make you a superior to a woman, because for all of us human beings, if you understand, as another speaker spoke, every person is trainable. Okay, despite biologically we are different, but in other aspects of the issues where we want to level the level ground and implement things that we can give equal access in terms of education, or maybe can also be other aspects, you understand that even a woman can be trainable and they can reach at a certain capability on other things in terms of logical thinking or implementing decision and the supervisory law and other issues they can also do, maybe also sometimes beyond a month. You see, so I think it's just an issue of balancing and making sure that the programs are being implemented so that another gender should not feel sidelined or neglected. That's my point. I just wanted to raise that point. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Daniel Mapawa, for that insightful comment. Yeah, you're right. We are all equal, whether in the eyes of God, in the face of the earth. It's just the way we look at things. So yeah, right. We are trainable. We can do this thing. So thank you so much for the comment. Anyone with a burning comment said that they would love to let out? 6 minutes to go. And it looks like only one speaker is remaining. Ooh. All right, so I think at this moment I will give Maureen to say a concluding statement, 2 minutes maximum, and Take It Project will say closing remarks and a few important things, and then we'll close. So yeah, Maureen, say your closing remarks, and then next will be George. Yeah, Maureen, you can have the floor. Hello, is it network or?
I believe it's network because I was also booted out of the meeting.
Ah, sorry about that. But you're audible now. So, yeah, say your closing statement, and yeah, 2 minutes max. Yeah, 2 minutes.
Sorry, Mustafa, was it me?
Yes. Okay. We are trying to wrap everything up, and then I'm just giving you opportunity to say your your concluding statement.
Well, I think I've spoken a lot, honestly. The only thing I can say is I wish there will be a day where gender equality will not be a thing where people would detest that it's for women or it's abusing boys. I wish for a day where people will get to understand the whole issue of gender equality. I wish for a day where we all are going to be at a place of equal opportunities where no one will feel sidelined. It's a dream, and yeah, I'll be part of initiatives to work towards it. I'll dream it and I'll hope for it. I believe it will happen. Thank you.
I believe so too, and trust me, the day is coming.
Yeah,
One step at a time.
One step at a time.
Sure. George?
My closing statement would be that, again, given it going down to the issue of education programs, I would say if we are to achieve boy-girl equality in school programs, we have to involve all stakeholders in trying to achieve this. We have to involve both the girls, both the boys, the parents, the NGOs. Everyone else should be involved, and if they all know that they have a role to play in this, I believe we might be able to come to a place whereby all of us will be able to say these education systems are favorable for all genders. But if we still try to sideline the other people or to only make it about only one gender, and I think to have more dire consequences even in the future as these young people are growing up, it's going to affect the way they relate in other areas in life. So we have to begin now to involve all stakeholders, involve the boys as well, tell them why this is happening. And as a matter of fact, create programs which not only target girls but target all genders, both the girls and the boys. In so doing, we might have a hope of achieving gender equality in all sectors of our lives. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our beloved speakers, for such insightful concluding statements. And before I close, I would like to say thank you so much, Stephen, for such amazing remarks. It was amazing to have you as well, and we're looking forward to see you in most of the webinars that we'll be organizing. We organize webinars every month, sometimes twice a month, sometimes once a month, but yeah, it was an honor to have you here, and so is everyone. It was an honor to have you all, and I have nothing much to say. The conference was really amazing. All of you contributed something to this, even those who were watching on Facebook, and also those who are waiting for an edited version of this on YouTube, as well as all other social media platforms. Thank you so much for the support. We really appreciate. And from Take It Up Project side, words cannot begin to explain how thankful we are for the support that you gave to the initiative. We are always thankful. Yeah, I know it might seem like a little, but we are so thankful. And as we will be closing, I think Daniel, if you have anything to say on behalf of Take It Up Project, or Stella, if you have anything to say on behalf of Take It Up Project, now is the time, or forever hold your peace.
Okay, thank you, Mustafa. I think what I have to say is just a greater appreciation for the speakers for sparing their time and to come and share the knowledge. You know, these topics, sometimes people, we do shy them. We don't discuss them openly, sometimes out of fear. But when people are volunteering and coming out to have a voice, so that one or two people will take something and will start implementing it, I think we can make our society to be a better place. So for me, on behalf of Take It Up Project, what I can say is a great appreciation. I think they should not stop here. There will be different hot topics where they have an idea and knowledge. They should be coming in. I think let's discuss and share for the betterment of the public. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's right, Daniel. And as we always say, topics like this don't just end like this. We'll be having a part 2 of this, and we're hoping to bring back our speakers and other more speakers. And yeah, we will be having more of these topics as time goes by. And with that being said, once again, thank you so much, those people who were here, as well as those people who are watching us all over the world. And Take It Up Project continues to give you the hot button topics, and soon we'll be starting having physical conferences, so that people should have amazing experiences. Once again, thank you so much, Maureen, Little Star, George, Daniel, as well as Stella. And from Take It Up Project, me, your host, Mustafa, thank you so much. Maureen, you have something to say?
No, I wanted to say thank you for the opportunity. It was a good time.
You're welcome. Been an honor. Yeah, so let's call it a night, and have a good night, guys.
Thank you.